least and she starts quickly. So we're doing Beyond tonight. You're going to need your chair and a pair of weights, and of course your water. With it getting warmer, the chances of you being fully hydrated are less and less. So you need to be careful of what you're drinking and just make sure you're drinking a lot of water with whatever you're drinking. So if you're having your hot tea or whatever, that's great, but make sure you're drinking water on the side as well. And Teresa, if you'll go ahead and just turn your microphone off, and then we will be good. All right, weights and your chair. We'll be doing a lot of moving around. Keep up. First off, we're going to start with assessments. We're going to do 2 assessments tonight, so make sure I'm probably the only one that's standing under a ceiling fan. We're going to do our hip assessment. So you want to stand with your feet together, nice and tall. Find your hip bones right here and put your hands on them. So when you turn, you're not moving your elbows and your shoulders. You're keeping your body, the upper part in line, and you're just going to turn as far to the left as you can without torquing your knees. You're going to keep your feet flat on the floor and just turn this axis as far as you can to the left, come back to center, and then to the right, and come back to center. Again, let's do the left and right 2 more times each. Left. You want to see what side is going to have the best rotation. Right, and what side is tight. 1 more time each. Left and right. And that is our hip rotation. So we're seeing how we're going to rotate in our hips. Now we're going to do our arm. And I'm stepping back just to make sure I don't stick my hand up to the fan blades. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your left hand and wrap it around your rib cage just like this. And you're going to take your right hand, your feet are together, and you're going to raise your right arm. And when you raise your right arm, do not cant your hips forward and tilt your back, okay? Do not arch your back. Don't stick your butt back and bow your back. Keep your back as relaxed as possible and take your arm up as high and as far back as you can. Teresa, be very extra careful with where you're going with yours, okay? You just want to find out where your rotation is today. Up, back by the ear and down. And let's go ahead and do that 1 more time. Again, we're going to do each arm. Find out which one's crunchy, which one's not. And then we're going to switch and do the other side. So wrap it around here. Stand up nice and tall with everything on your spine stacked and just bring that arm up without bowing or arching. I've got a little bit of a hang in my right arm here. And it's my actual right and not my mirror right. Okay, so we're going to be doing stuff to work in both arms and in the hips today. I actually have a list. I do. All right. The next thing we're going to work on is our breathing assessment. So I want you to sit on the front edge of your chair real quick. Got my weights right there. Front edge of your chair. Sit on your seat bones, the part that you actually sit on. Make sure your feet are square and flat on the floor, that your feet are relaxed. Just let your hands sit on the top of your thighs, palms up. We're going to breathe. I want you to feel from your collarbones to your pelvic floor. And you're going to fill up the cylinder. So you're going to feel from top to bottom. You're going to feel from side to side. You're going to feel from front to back. Do not belly breathe. Do not and arch your back and try to fill up all the air into your tummy. You want to fill up your lungs, but you don't want to pull your abs in while you do it because you don't want it just to be all chest breathing. You want it to be breathing and letting your diaphragm go down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a nice breath in through the nose, hold it at the top, and down. You're going to exhale on your own time. If you want to just watch, I will go up, pause, and down. If you need to go slower, if you need to go faster, that is totally fine, but we're going to do 5. Ready? Two more. And 1 more. While we're here in the seated position, I want you to widen your stance just a little bit. We're going to do a hip hinge warm-up from the seated position. So when we do our hip hinge, since you cannot bend your knees and you cannot do anything except bend at the hips, you need to have your knees just a little wider so that your hips can roll forward. All we're going to do is roll forward at the hips, keeping our chest and neck at neutral. So none of this is going to bend, none of this is going to bow. And we're just going to have our hands forward. We're going to take our deep breath in, and you're going to start the exhale. So you're going to exhale for 1 beat before you go into the hip hinge. It's going to look like this. So I'm going to breathe in, begin to exhale, and then go down as I exhale. I'm going to breathe in and then start the return up. So I don't want to run out of breathing in air before I come up, but you want to have that beat of exhale, then go down, inhale, then come up. And we're going to do that for 5. And it may take you a few seconds, a couple of tries to hit that beat, but you don't want to exhale and go down at the same time, inhale and come up at the same time. You want to have that exhale down, inhale up. Ready? And you can just have your hands nice and long. You can leave them resting on your thighs or go down to the outside, whatever you want to do. All of your upper body needs to stay in that same hinge motion with your pelvis tilting forward in between your thighs. Ready? We're going to take a deep breath to start with. Begin your exhale and your hinge. Inhale and up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. And exhale one more time. And then go ahead and elbows on thighs and come up. From this position, let's go ahead and go to the stand. We're going to do the same thing with the standing hip. So we're going to warm up our hips. Now that we've got the inner thighs warmed up and the hamstrings warmed up there, we're going to do the same thing with canting the hips back so that you're already in hamstring position. Again, starting with the inhale that you already have, you will exhale and then bend, inhale, and then come up. 5 counts. Ready? And inhale. And begin. One more set. And roll it up. Okay, let's do our warm up. Go ahead and just push your chair out of the way for the moment. Now that the back of our legs are warmed up, go ahead and kick up those heels. And let's get started. Let me switch and switch. All right. Short. So we're doing our side to side. Drop the shoulder. So you're doing a little side core, elbow. Four, 3, 2, 1. Now arms. Little tiny moves, focusing on lifting at the shoulder, bringing your fingers in front of your face if you need to, because we're not reaching. Let's actually do a step close. Shake it down. March. Hands out to the side. So they're going to rotate. And back to center. So you're rotating around that axis with your arms. You're carrying a big ball or a barrel. Keeping your feet marching while you're turning. Warming those shoulders up. Warming that spine up. Keep the march going. Good breathing. Last one here. And last one here. All right, pick the knees up. If you need the chair for balance, get it set where you need it. Otherwise, have your weights where you can get to them. It's me putting my weights where I can get to them. All right. We're going to go back to our hip hinge. We're not going to add the breathing. We've already done the breathing. So let's just do our regular hip hinge. We're going to sit back, go into it. So you should be nice and loose in the hamstrings. You're still going to exhale down and inhale up, but you don't necessarily need to do the pause. Now, we're going to add a knee lift when we come up. So you're going to come up, lift one knee, go down, and lift the other knee. So you're going to hinge and pick up. Hinge and pick up. So we're doing side to side motion, front to back motion. 4, that knee lift. 3, working on those hip flexors, y'all. 2, and last one on the lift. Shake it out. We're going to add a little torso rotation as well. So what we're going to do is just gently have the hands probably just hanging out right here at the shoulders. When we do our hinge, we're going to go to one knee, come up, and lift that same knee, go down, come up, and lift that same knee. Okay? So, Teresa and Susan, if this is too tight, Susan especially, if this is too tight, then just have it here, or just leave your arms here, and bring them gently across the front so that you're able to flex the shoulder and not necessarily tighten up your tendons, okay? Here we go. So we're going to hip hinge and turn. And when you come up, that's the knee that comes up. Hip hinge and turn. Up. Hip hinge and turn. Up. Hip hinge and turn. Up. Hinge, turn, and 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 up. Hinge, turn, up. Whoa. Hinge, turn, up. Hinge, and up. Down, up. Hinge, turn, and up. Hinge, turn, and up. Hinge, turn, and up. And just go to hinge, turn one side, other side, and roll it up. Shake your legs out. How's everybody doing? Feeling it here and here and here. All right. Pick up one weight. We did a little bit of this in Thursday's class last week, so I want to practice that again because I think it's going to be good arm work for a lot of us. So I've got the weight in my left hand. I'm going to go into a little bit of a left lunge stance, so both feet are flat. I'm not quite tandem meaning in line. I've got a wider stance, but not so much that I'm going to cause my arm to be in the way of my leg. Keeping my arm nice and long, I'm going to raise and back. So I'm at a deliberate swing. Do not let your shoulder drop. Control, and if you want to put your hand right here on the ball so that you make sure it stays there, here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't let that drop out. And 8. Let it roll there. Roll it. Now, we're going to do it again, but when we get to the top of the front, you're going to hold, down and hold, down and hold. Okay, so take your weight out, rotate your elbow. This can affect the tendons in your elbows. So if you need to put the weight down and maybe grip a ball or a washcloth or something, and keep your arm slightly bent, you can still do the same thing, but without the weight pulling down into the tendons. Okay? Here we go. So you're going to come up, pause, swing it, pause. Here and back for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bring it down. Now, we're going to stay with that same movement. When we get to the top, we're going to fold it in at a top bicep, out, and then fold it reverse in for a kickback before we extend and go up and come back in. So there's always going to be a fold, whether it's the top in or the bottom up. Okay? Again, if you've got a lighter set of weights, you switch to that, or you switch to a washcloth or a tennis ball or something that you can have in your hand. So you've got that long movement, so you can still do everything without the resistance pulling on the tendons in your elbow or your shoulder if that's really what's bothering you today. Here we go. So we're going to go up, fold, down, pause it back here, fold it in, up, pause and over, pause and under, pause and over. This will be number 3, pause and under, pause and over for pause and over for number 4, pause and under for 4, pause and over for 5, pause and under for 5, pause and over for 6, pause and under for 6, pause and over for 7, pause and under for 7, pause and over for 8, pause and under for 8, and bring it straight on down. Take everything out. I just want you to roll that shoulder, and then I want you to roll at the elbow. So wax on, everybody. Wax on with big open hands and wax off. And then I want you just to roll your wrists with your big open hands the other way. Shrug that shoulder up to your ear. And just let it hang there for a moment. You just want to let all of that tension drain out. Take a nice deep breath, feeling from your collar to your pelvis. And just exhale that little bugger down. All right, put your neck away. Okay, everybody good? All right, let's do the other side. So you're going to go into your step. Make sure your feet are slightly apart. Hand and foot back. And we're going to do our swing forward. Up and back for 1, 2, be mindful of that joint. 3, don't let it drop. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, roll it. Now remember on this one, we're going to have the pause at the top and the pause at the back. Adjust your weight as you need to. Don't let the shoulder drop down or anything like that. You keep it even. Here we go. Pause. And 1. Pause. And 2. Pause. And 3. Pause. And 4. Pause. And 5. Pause. 6. Pause. And 7. Pause. And 8. Take the weight out of your hand. Roll that elbow. And roll it back. Now remember, we're fixing to do not only a dual task, you're doing 4 different tasks. So you're doing the swing, the pause, and 2 different folds. So if you need to gear down, protect your shoulder, okay? Go into good position. Remember, it's going to be pause, fold, pause, and fold. Here we go. Pause, over, down, pause, and under for 1. Pause, and over, pause, and under for 2. Pause, and over. Pause, and under for 3. Pause, and over. Pause, and under for 4. Pause, and over. Pause, and under for 5. Pause, and over. Pause, and under for 6. Pause, and over. Pause, and under for 7. Pause, and over. Pause, and under for 8. And just take it straight down. But put that weight down. First thing you're going to do is roll the shoulder. Okay. And then unroll it. And then big open hand, wax on. So you're rolling through that elbow. And then wax off. And then wrist rolling. Not to be confused with Rick rolling, which my son did to me the other day. All right. You're going to breathe this guy up to your ear. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale down. And pull your neck away. All right. So, since we just did a lot of work in our shoulders, let's step back and let's do our assessment with our arms. So wrap that left hand around and just roll it right on up there. And are you looser, better, same, worse? Go ahead and do it again. Remember, you don't want to arch your back, so keep your back neutral. Better, same, worse. This is all you against you. And let's switch. Here we go. Better, same, worse. The assessment is entirely for you. Are you feeling the better? You feeling the same? You feeling worse? All right. Let's do a little squeeze, a little pull apart. Move those shoulders around. Make sure you have open space now. You can put your chair in front of you. We're going to be doing several versions of the curtsy lunge. Remember, if you can't do the curtsy lunge, you simply do a reverse lunge. Be mindful of where you're going. If you want the best balance, if you're not great at curtsy lunge, put the chair in front of you. That way you can use it when you need it to allow you to go lower without having to worry about your balance. If you need it to get that leverage to kind of work the muscles better, please feel free to use it. It's not a crutch, it's a tool, and sometimes you need that tool to help you stay in the right formation, okay? So let's start with our basic curtsy lunge, and you just go to one side, and you're just gonna press into your toe. Your heel's not gonna go to the ground, because we're gonna warm up our ankle here. So you're just basically pressing into the toe, flexing your heel towards the ground. It's not going to touch. That's okay. We're not going low just yet. We got to wake our ankles up. But you're also waking up your hips. And you're telling your knees, oh, we're doing a little stuff there. Good. All right. As you start getting more into it, you can step back a little more. You can go a little deeper into your hips. Right now, we're focusing on keeping our chest and our head up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have a band or your body towel that you can grab real quick? Or a hand towel, bath towel? Go grab that for me. I meant to say body towel, but I wasn't thinking when I did this. I'm going to grab a band because I have those just literally right here. I want you to have something in your hands, something you can hold on to or something that you can press with. So you're either going to go right above your head or right out in front of your head. So we're going to engage the abs, keeping a good upright posture while we're doing it. Okay? So again, the chair is there in case you need to reach forward and stabilize yourself. Here we go. 1, 2, and if you got a band, you can press. 3, 4, 5, and we are not in time with music at all, so it's just there. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I wanted us to do a little bit of arm work with that, so just put that down. Now, we're going to take that same curtsy lunge and we're going to touch the floor. This is where you are going to bend over, so you want to practice your breathing, not necessarily the deep breathing we were doing, but you want to exhale down and inhale up. And you do not want to drop your head like this with your neck doing this. You want to kind of keep your head at neutral and reach for the floor. Whether or not you touch the floor, entirely up to you. So when you curtsy, you're going to take one foot behind and you're going to take the same hand and the same leg and you're going to reach across and touch just outside this other toe and come back up. So if you're doing left leg, left hand goes on the outside of the right foot. So it's going to be left foot back, left hand down. Just like Twister without a bunch of people. Right foot back, right hand down. Left foot back, go nice and slow and control your breathing. Exhale and breathe it up all the way up. Good. This one you definitely want to go slow. Curtsy lunges is a cardio maneuver, whether you're going slow or fast. Down and up. We're doing transverse, sagittal, frontal plane, airplanes, the American planes, plain Jane, all the planes. So remember, you're keeping your head at neutral. You're not doing a true head drop. All right? Your body may be tilting down, but you do not need to let your head be flippy floppy. Cut yourself off there. And I know what you're thinking. Is you ever going to stop doing these curtsy lunges? No. We got about 15 seconds left on the song. Nice and slow. You can always ratchet it up. You don't have to go as deep. You're in control of what you do at your house. 2 more. This one, and done. All right. Shake your legs out. Pick those knees up. Let's do a little hip assessment. So feet together, hands on those hip bones. You're going to be thinking, good, bad, or the same. Just turn, center, turn, center, turn, and turn. All right. Y'all can let me know at the end if you've progressively gotten better, if you've incrementally gotten better, either way. All right, we're gonna need our chairs now. You just simply gonna have that for balance. I'm gonna turn mine sideways so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, if you have 2 sets of weights, you might need your lighter set because you're gonna put it behind your leg. If you've got 1 set of weights and you've got slick pants on, good luck. Just saying. We're gonna do a hip adduction. So what that means is you're going to stand up nice and tall. Let's do it without the weight first. So stand up nice and tall for me. You're simply going to bend this left leg. So notice how I'm 90 degrees right here. And keeping your knees even with each other, you're going to just take it right out to the side and back in again. So notice, you're not seeing my knee up here coming out here. You're not seeing it back here. It's directly in line. So notice how wide, I'm standing in front of something dark. It's kind of hard to tell. Whee! So notice how wide this, it's not very wide. probably maybe 8 inches at the max before my hip goes. That's as far as you can go. And that's it. That's why it's called an adduction. You're just taking it just out and right back in. So we're going to do 8 with no weight. So stand up nice and straight. I'm a poet and I know it. Here we go. Out and in. 2, 3. If you need to look down to make sure your legs are staying in line. 4. Only do it once. 5, 6. Practice your good posture. 7 and 8. Now we're going to switch to the other side. Nice tall posture. Bend that leg. Make sure it's right here in line. Let's do the tester. And our good 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure they're still in line down there. 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to go back to the first leg. We're going to add our weight. Now, if we add the weight and you find that that is not working for you, put the weight down. Do it anyway without the weight. Okay? And if it drops, hopefully it's not going to dent or break anything, namely your tile or your toes. Now, of course, my foot's a little bit more bent. I'm going to stand up nice and straight. Make sure the head of the weight always touches when it comes back in. Nice and tall. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How we doing? 6. Gets you right here, doesn't it? 7 and 8. We're not going to do a lot. Let's switch it around. Get around that other leg. Nice and tall. Good posture. Get those knees even. You don't want to cheat it in front. You don't want to cheat it in back. Here we go. Out and 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, good, 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 2, and 1. All right, go ahead and put your weight down. How many of you had your bands a while ago? Show of hands, did you have your band a while ago? Brad, yes, no, band? Okay, grab your band and put it around your knees. If you got the lighter one, go with the lighter one. If you got what you got, then that's what you're going to use. Oh my gosh, Patrice, what are you going to do to us now? And I want you to put it just below your knees. Go back to first position. I know, right? I'm going to open for this one. So stand up nice and tall. Make sure those hips are even, and you're just going to go out. Once you get, I want you to take it up, just so now you're at resistance, and we're going to pulse out here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it in. Take a breath. And release. And let's do it one more time. Out to resistance and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Hip hit. You want to hip shoot. Shoot your hip here and here and here, because standing on the one while you're doing the others, that actually affects. All right. We're going to do the other side now. Fold that leg. Take it out to resistance and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it in. Take a nice deep breath from here to here. Take it to resistance and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's go ahead and sit down on our chair. Make sure you have your weights and just keep the band there. Why not? It's already on, we'll just use it. Front edge of your chair. Make sure your heels are square underneath your knees to begin with. And depending on your comfort level, you can have it below your knees, or you can have it above your knees, because I want you to widen your stance and take your toes out just a little bit for abs. Okay? So you've got that wider stance. Keeping it below your knees does keep it from rolling up the V of your thighs, but you also have to press your knees out. You're sitting on your hip bones, you're sitting on your sit bones. Okay, so keep it right here pressed to your tummy with the weight actually resting on your stomach. First, we're just going to rotate. So you've got your knees pressed out, and you're simply going to rotate. Don't look away from the camera. Rotate your shoulders around your hips and center. 2, don't look away. 3, 4, 5. Now your head can turn. 6, but your eyes cannot look away. 7, 8, 2 more. 9, and 10. All right, widen your stance if you can, just a little bit. We're going to keep those hips engaged. All right, bring your weights back in. This time, you're going to lean back just a little bit. Do that same rotation. Don't turn your head away. So bring your head into that neutral position. You can turn your head, just don't turn your eyes. Because I find that if you start rotating and you take your chin with it, you kind of drop your shoulder. But if you still or have to look, your shoulder won't get away from you. And that's what I'm wanting to do for this first set of 10. Let's start by going to the right first. Ready? 1, 2, so don't look away. 3, your head can turn a little bit. 4, 5, so we're working on our visual. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, go ahead and let your legs come in for just a moment. Roll your hips forward for me. And let's just kind of breathe it forward, stretch those hips. All right. You see where I am time-wise? Okay, good. I've got all the time in the world at this point. No. All right, walk it back out here to as wide as you can stand. Make sure you get those toes just beyond. All right, again, resting the weights against your tummy. So they're not hanging out here. They're resting. So your elbows have to stay where I want them to stay. Now, you're going to be able to go back into that 80 degree, and you're going to rotate on that axis, and you're going to take that elbow down. Now, don't drop your shoulder. Don't drop your elbow. Just take it and come back to center. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Come forward. Walk your heels in. Walk your feet in. Let your arms go nice and long. Let's go back into our hip hinge breathing. We're going to take a big breath. We're going to take a nice exhale down and put down one weight and come back up. So breathe in. Begin your exhale. Put down one weight. Inhale. Come up. All right. Bring this guy right here. Keep your feet together because you know you got a weight sitting right there. So we're going to have to keep our feet together. But go ahead and slide those toes out back into ab position. And you can widen your knees if you want to. I'm going to actually kind of do that. I'm going to go into a little bit of an open clam. So my feet are together. My knees are pressed open. And I'm going to bring the weight where it's sitting right at belly button level. But I'm going to hold it out about 3 or 4 inches. So it's not pressed against me. My arms are kind of 90-ish, just holding there. And I'm going to rotate and go ahead and take my hands and try to touch the back of my wrist to my chair in that general vicinity. So you know what we're kind of doing here. We're doing a little bit of the Roman twist. And I'm not going to make the dad jokes this time. Here we go. 1, and center. 2, and center. 3, 4. Bring that top shoulder over when you come. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Feet together. Oh my goodness, I seem to have lost a bunch of people, but we're going to keep going. We're going to take our nice inhale. We're going to exhale forward and down. Ready? Inhale. Begin to exhale and place your weight on the floor. And come up. And exhale down. All right. Don't know where you went. We're good. I'm hanging in there. Go back to your open knees. Your feet are here. Your knees are open. You've got your hands. You simply going to put your hands together. We're going to do the same twist, reaching back as far as you can now. You're going to go 1 and center, 2 and center, 3 and center, 4 and center, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Bring it back to the middle. Go ahead and take your band off for me. So the band is completely off. Put that safely out of the way. Pick up your weights and put them safely out of the way. From the chair level, we're just going to stay in the chair. You may or may not be able to see me, but you will be able to do this. Make sure your both feet are flat on the floor and the back of your hands are laying palm facing up on the top of your thighs. We're going to do our 5 breaths. So you're going to feel from your collarbone to your pelvic floor, front to back and side to side. Breathe it up, pause at the top, and exhale it down. We'll do 5 count. The count will begin with 1. And on the 5th one, when I say 5, then you'll start your 5th one and then we'll go. So 1, breathe in. 2. 3. 4. 5. 'Go ahead and put your heels underneath you and stand up out of your chair. Slide your chair out of the way. Let's do our hip assessment. Feet together, hands on your hip bones. Remember, when you do this, you want to be determining, are you better, the same, or worse than when you first started? So you might have a big difference. You might have a small difference. It might be so-so. You just might feel looser. That's okay. You're learning to read what your body is telling you. So let's go ahead and turn to the left, and then to the center, and then to the right, and then to the center. Let's go ahead, left to right again, left, and to the center, and then right, and to the center. Go ahead and widen your stance just a little bit. Wrap your left arm around your ribs, and let's roll our right arm up. So remember, you don't want to stick your butt out. You don't want to arch your back. You want to just have your neck back in neutral position, and go ahead and just roll it up. See if you have any better range of motion, and go ahead and do it a second time for me. The reason why you put your hand on your ribs is just keep your rib cage from moving up and just going crazy town. All right, let's do the right hand around the ribs. Left arm relaxed, fingers and thumb pointed, and just roll it up here without arching your back. Oh, nice. Better there. I seem to have lost one, and that's okay. And one more time. And back. Bring it on down. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me. I am going to come up here and see what's going on. I do not know why we lost all of the video, which is very bizarre, but I am going to stop recording.